of the needle and try to poke the dura. It's very rigid and stiff. That's to give you the idea of, when I was telling you guys about the epidural procedure, what do I mean with which is the hardest layer outside. Okay, whenever you want to see the cranial nerve pair 1 and cranial nerve pair 2, you have to look at the brain that they have a dura, because whenever you remove the dura, it's part of the dura and they are not careful to dissect around it, so it's gonna detach with dura, so you cannot see it. So from here, this white line that you guys see here is representative of what?
The fissure.
Fissure, central fissure. And then we have one here. What is that?
What is that called?
Transverse, exactly. You see, is versus this. Okay, and then we have to flip the brain so you can see it. The first portion I said we call it what? What part of the lobe of the brain is that? Frontal lobe. Frontal lobe, you can see these two white structure. Those are the olfactory bulb. Those are olfactory bulbs. See, I'm removing it. They are like a balloon. That's the part that receiving all of those sensations from the cribriform plate in the skull, because these are have some projection of the neurons that is passed through the cribriform plate and go to the epithelium of the nose. That's how you can mix the chemical which is in the air with the mucus, and they trigger the nerve and send the impulse to this bulb. Bulb generate a message, and through the olfactory tract, which is underneath of this, I'm going to show it later to you guys, is going to relay the message to the brain. Brain make a decision and send a signal, either, for example, whenever you eat a chocolate, it might remind you a good memory. That's why that's the response of it. After that olfactory, I said nerve 1, we have optic nerve. Optic nerve is this part. This is optic nerve, nerve 1 and nerve 2. If you notice, they created some kind of a cross structure here. We call it optic chiasm, because the right part of the brain hemisphere analyze the left side information, and then left side analyze the right part of the body. So the information from the eyes, right eyes go to the left hemisphere and the left eyes go to the right hemisphere. They create a chiasm, they create a cross. So if I put a pointer here and ask identify a structure being pointed to, you have to call it optic chiasm. We have optic nerve, optic chiasm, and after that we have optic tract. We have first nerve and then tract. This is the olfactory bulb, olfactory tract, optic nerve, optic chiasm, optic tract. After optic tract, whenever you look at the brain with dura, I told you guys you can see the basically arachnoid is not a structure, is not some layer like dura that you can see it here. It's a kind of a smooshy gray stuff that is like a sponge. Create a hole that all of those artery and vein pass through it. So look at this spongy structure here. Is everybody can see it? See, it's like a sponge. That's a representative of arachnoid. Whenever brain remove the dura, they cannot see this arachnoid because it's coming out. And then whenever you open this arachnoid and separate it from the brain tissue, at the center of this, underneath of the optic chiasm, you see some bulgy structure. This.
It's moving out of frame. Keep going.
Oh.
You moved down the frame.
Okay. Let me see that. This structure, we call it what? This is a gland. One gland that is functional. What is that?
Pituitary. Is it the pituitary?
Pituitary gland, exactly. Pituitary gland is in charge of what? Biological rhythm. That's the one that make you guys to produce what hormones? Melatonin, that cause you guys go to sleep and make you guys alert if it's not there. And whenever you guys travel long distance, they have a jet lag. This is also causing that. Okay, whenever you remove the dura, you cannot see this one either. And then this is a brain stem, and then we are gonna, do we have a
What?
removed? No, we don't have it.
Oh, it's over there. Hold on.
Yeah. I want to give them a chance so they can dissect it themselves. No. How should I focus it? I don't know. Okay. This is the brain that we remove the dura. So brain has a very soft tissue. I told you guys at the center we can see what? Central fissure. And then we have transverse fissure. We have ridge and sulcus. Sulcus is this bumpy structure and ridge are those space between them. You see they have tiny artery and vein at the center of them. Those are the tiny artery on the surface of the brain that feeding the superficial tissue of it. And they are very susceptible to get clogged and therefore brain tissue damage. Okay, and the lobe of the brain. I told you guys brain has 4 lobes. The first part of it, we call it what?
Frontal lobe.
Frontal lobe till here. You see it has some kind of a line, which is a little bit deeper. I'm going to tell you guys later on. That's related to the sensory and motor part. Frontal lobe, from here to the front, we call it frontal lobe. After that, from here to the back, we call it parietal bone, and then temporal bone on the side, lobe, and then occipital lobe. Yes. Occipital lobe is important. Why? Because it's center of vision. All of those optic nerve gonna go here to get analyzed. So this is also is not removed completely. You can see a pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, which I make a mistake, guys. Pituitary gland, that's a pineal gland which is in charge of biological rhythm. Pituitary gland is in charge of what?
Endocrine system.
Endocrine system, yes. That's why I said it doesn't make sense. Nobody mentioned it even.
I was thinking it.
No.
No.
Say it. That's the things. This is a pituitary gland, and a pineal is inside that. Okay. This is the leftover of the optic chiasm. You cannot see the optic nerve because it's left with the dura, and then you can see here optic tract.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm gonna remove it so you can see the.
Did you say the chiasm was already removed?
No, chiasm, you can see half of it. The
Okay.
other part, you see this triangle, the other 2 part which is go outside
Right.
is not here. So whenever you want to dissect it, be careful so you can. We have an important nerve here. I don't want to cut it. Okay. What is this nerve? Nerve number 3 is what? Oculomotor, exactly. After that, we have this beautiful nerve here.
That's trochlear.
Trochlear nerve, exactly. And then you see here there is a 2 bump. First one here and second one. That's the pons and medulla oblongata. In the space between the pons and medulla oblongata, we have a very fine nerve. 1, 2 on the other side. What is that? No.
No, the abducens.
Abducent, exactly. Trigeminal, you cannot see it here unless... No, it has been removed. I can show it to you guys here. Trigeminal is here. You should not remove the dura if you want to see the trigeminal. See, trigeminal is one part of it, 2 and 3 is already cut half. This is a trigeminal. It's created 3 branch. See, this is the trigeminal also from the other side. I cannot, I have to dissect it. See how tough is that?
Mm-hmm.
One of the indication of the nerve versus the lymph node is whenever you cut the nerve, you can see is marbly texture. It has a marbly texture. It's shiny inside. That's telling you guys during a surgery or you know even dissection, that's you cut the nerve, not actually other structures. So this is a trigeminal. This is one lobe of it. This is a second lobe. The third one is here, which is cut. And here is one lobe. Is it clear? One lobe. And this is a second lobe. It's too bright. I don't know how they can see it better. Anyway. So. We have this structure, cerebrum. These 2 lobes is cerebral hemisphere, right and left, and then cerebellum. This wormiform structure at the center, we call it what?
Is it the arbor vitae?
Arbor vitae is at the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The outside?
You see, it's like a worm at the center. It's like an alien. I don't know. You see at the center, this is 2 lobe. At the center of it is something like a worm.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of your word list too. So go ahead and find it. I'm not going to tell you guys because that's not the way that it works. Okay, we reach to the abducens nerve. And then we have 2 other nerve here, 2 tiny one here. What is that?
That should be the vagus.
Vagus nerve.
Vagus.
And then this one?
Accessory.
Accessory nerve. That's right. So, huh?
So that has good nerves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is the actually good one that I'm gonna keep it. So I can put it. I'm not gonna give that to you guys. Keep it for practical. And so let's dissect it. I'm gonna open it. It's better for me to open it myself.
So during surgery, they would cut a piece of that, and then how would they go about putting it back?
They
Or
just put it back.
Just
Yeah, no, not suture it.
just leave it.
They just leave it like that.
Oh.
I mean, when you have a hematoma or something, they're gonna open it. Other than that, if you have a tumor, they'd rather work it with radiation, not remove it, because most of the tumor is not growing here. Either this inside, so whatever approach you chose for the surgery, you damage this nerve tissue. So you risk the patient's life. Either you make them numb, paralyzed, blind, deaf, something, or you kill them. That's why, they'd rather use the radiation to shrink the size of a tumor, or use some chemotherapy or some of those immune therapy that recently has become popular. Other than that, if you have a hematoma, something like that, they open the skull, they remove that part of the tissue, and then they can put it back, but they won't suture it. Okay. Look at here. We have two structures that you guys have to know. We call it cerebral peduncle. And what is that duct, a specific duct that we have over there? Cerebral aqueduct. So, whenever you open the brain from the transverse fissure, you can see this structure here. Look at here.
Oh, wow.
So, it's like a 4/4 lobe. Can everybody see? No, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are those?
Quadramin.
But they,
Superior and
And inferior.
colliculi.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
can never say.
And then on top of the superior colliculi, you see that kind of a lentile structure. What is that? That's the pineal gland. And then underneath of it, we have thalamus. This is a thalamus. See? This white portion, white structure is thalamus.
That's cool.
So therefore, posterior colliculi, superior colliculi, thalamus, and then pineal gland.
Together there.
Huh?
The name for all of them is in there with us.
Name for? Corpora quadrigemina. That's the name of it. Corpora means, quadrigemina means 4. Corpora means all 4 of, yes. So, let's open this beautiful.
Like a piece of steak.
Smash.
No, this is good, this part, but that part, yeah, I have to remove the things. I'm lazy, I didn't open it. You see how tough is this freaking tissue?
It's crazy.
That's why it's giving you guys protection. That's okay. You should see the tree of.
People eat that, right?
Huh?
Yes.
People eat that, right?
Yeah.
People eat that, but it has a problem because of the what? There is some kind of a prions.
The protein prion.
Yes. So these transverse, not transverse, this sagittal section that I made, you guys have to know some information here. So first of all, you see this one is like a Texan hat. You see this structure? Texan hat?
It takes a hat.
Those big hats. Huh? So
Talk about Texas like that.
that's the reality. Okay, what is these structures?
The corpus.
Corpus callosum. At the center of the corpus callosum, we have this empty space. What is that?
Set it. Yeah.
Ventricle. What ventricle?
The third.
Is it lateral?
Lateral ventricle, exactly. And then underneath of that, we have this round structure. We call it what?
That's the thalamus.
Thalamus, yes. Underneath, sorry, this is a thalamus. This is a hypothalamus.
Exactly.
And then when you come down, you see, I didn't cut it all the way down. You see something like a canal or some band here.
Mm-hmm.
So that band, we call it a stalk. A stalk for,
I thought it was the aqueduct.
no, aqueduct is here.
Okay.
No, that's a stalk which connected to,
Stop.
that's what is that? Always I'm asking it on the practical and the student confuse it. You see? This, look at here, and then I'm closing the brain and then rotate it. What is this?
Oh, is that the,
Optic chiasm.
yeah.
See, you are gonna see this view versus this view.
Oh,
So
Makes sense.
make sure if I put it here like this is the optic chiasm, nothing else. Don't confuse it. Optic chiasm, and then pineal gland. Where is that? Is here.
back, right?
Yes. So I already shattered it. This is, you see, this is a pineal. And then we have tiny structure here. We call it, is it clear over there? We call it mammary body. Yes. And then after that, we have I told you guys, thalamus, hypothalamus, and then pineal gland is must be here, which is, I remove it. See, this part, it must be here.
You try to rebuild.
Yeah. Go back to your place. No, see, I'm not making it. This is the place that it's supposed to be. Although it's supposed to be rotated because that's the part that I cut it. Anyway, you know. And these are what? Corpora quadrigemina. And look at this structure. See, tree of life, or arbora vitae. The space between the arbora vitae, we call it what? This white part, this gray part, between the branch of arbora vitae.
It's in your word list.
Is on your word list.
Cerebral or cerebellar particles?
No?
The vermis?
Huh?
Vermis?
Vermis is the name of that wormy structures. You guys a little bit behind.
Oh.
Yeah. We call it
It's gonna be the folia then.
folia, exactly. Folia, I put it for the practical of one of my group last semester and they missed it.
I did not.
So no, not
Just
you.
kidding.
So anyway, and then this is a gray matter, you can see it, or cortex of the brain, and then we have a white matter at the center of it. These whitey structures here, you see? And then other than that, we have a lateral ventricle. This space here, you see between the, although I smoosh it. The space here, we call it fourth ventricle. That's why it's coming. You see, this is a, let me put the probe in. You see that hole?
Mm-hmm. Is that the central
Yes,
canal?
exactly. It's coming down from the, no, not, it's pointing like this. There you go. This is a central canal. So this part has three main region. We call it, the first bump, we call it what? Pons.
Pons, yeah.
After that, we call it medulla oblongata, and then
The brainstem or spinal cord.
a spinal cord, exactly. And this is the area that coming and from here is go to where? C1 and C2. What is the name of the C1 and C2?
Atlas and
Axis, exactly. So any question?
Where does the magnum?
Foramen magnum?
Yeah, where does that hit? Right there.
Foramen magnum is hitting here, from here. From here is coming out of the skull. It's gonna be like this.
All right.
And then frontal, I told you guys lobes. Yeah. That's it.